I was touring at one point with Iggy Vaughn, and this was this was actually the first year that I had met Bill Kirchen too. It was like, that was like 3 years ago or 4 years ago or something like that. But we went there to play as I was just playing guitar with her, and then there was a few people in Austin that were like, "Oh, if you're going to be there, will you play with this one? Let's do,"
Sure.
And it's just crazy there. It's so crowded, and like trying to come up the elevators and go be from here and there. So the next year, I decided that I would get my own room, and would serve the artist of Texas for them to go there, and we would showcase them, and we would have it sound really great. We got a great PA, and we have amazing musicians that are there. And if they want me to play with them, I will play with them and showcase all of our Texas artists. And it's just been amazing. I mean, people have just fallen in love with that room. Charlie Faye does the room with me as well. She books it, and then I do my personal showcases too, and playing with people and stuff. So
cool. So you're gonna be up there for a couple days or a week?
Yeah, I'll be there starting tomorrow till Sunday. Yeah.
Okay, very nice.
Yeah.
And you're also doing some stuff at South by Southwest.
Yeah. I'm gonna do some stuff there. Playing Sahara Smith, I play with as well. I'm gonna have my own showcases, playing with her, playing with Shannon McNally there.
Cool.
I tour with her. We're going to Alaska next month. So just
it's gonna be great. First time for you to play in Alaska.
Yeah, somehow that one slipped by me. So it's like after I got sick a couple years ago, I kind of have done the bucket list kind of thing. It's like now, this year, I mean, every year I have a whole slew of great travels, playing music. So making a point of wow, if I could tour through Alaska in a week, maybe I'll pass the Midwest this time, and just kind of switch out some more interesting new experiences.
Very nice. Will Sexton live in the KPFT studio. Freddie Kirk was here on Friday.
Yeah.
He's done some work with Rocky Erickson. I know that you've done some work with Rocky.
Yeah, I played with Rocky in the mid '80s the first time. It's strange because I played with him for almost a decade, but it amounted to all of like about 4 gigs, he wasn't really playing and at that point, but I would go in and help him prepare for the gigs. And the one thing that I've gone on record to say, at the last point we did 2 Austin Chronicle music award shows. And the second time going in to do it, they were like, "Can you go over to his house and get him ready and kind of get him prepped up for this thing?" And so I go down there and stuff, and it's just like at that particular point, he did not want to be playing. So it was like,
it was a big chore to get him out of the house.
Yeah, well, it just was wrong. It's like if you want to do supportive, like let's all play Rocky's songs. Let's do all. We all adore him. Let's don't try to trick him into going and playing a show whenever he wasn't feeling very good. But from what I've gathered, which is another interesting irony twist in the whole thing, for me, is when I had the benefit at Antone's after I had a stroke, Rocky was one of the headliners. So here he is playing, playing for me. So it was pretty amazing. Yes.
Full circle.
Yeah.
I know that you've also done. You produced some of the stuff for Randy Weeks, and you and your brother still co-produce a lot of stuff. I think Sahara Smith. Did you guys work on that record together?
No. That was. I just had been touring with her. Right now, I'm working with Sahara on the record. Before, when she did her Myth of the Heart record, I had never met her before. Charlie and I did a record with Ruby James.
And you play with her every once in a while, right?
I haven't played with her in a while, but I definitely have at a bit. And she's in New Orleans. She's been staying there. Yeah, and we both worked a lot with David Bearwall, which I worked a lot with David Bearwall in the New Folk Underground. We did a record, co-produced it with him on Lost Highway, and a while back. I love working with him, and I always kind of forget what you know. It's scattering for me because, you know, I don't produce a lot of records, but I write a lot of songs, and I collaborate with a lot of people, and I tour and use session work. So it's just kind of like every facet is so there's so many extended, you know, aspects of it that yeah.
We've got Will Sexton live in the KPFT studio. I want to talk to you after your next song about getting signed to a major label at 16, but we'll talk about that next. What are you going to sing for us?
This is off of the newest record, Move the Balance. This is called who knows what this. I'll remember
it's
it.
It's a good one, though.
It's the same. That's the words at the end of this chorus whenever we hit it. Yeah. Certain kind of something. That's what it's called.
I never believed in your holidays. There's nothing I can be forced to adore. I challenge Christmas Eve, any Valentine display, loosely bring a feeling you'd incur. You've got that certain kind of something that someone can't explain. You've got me running round in circles with your image in my brain, and it worsens every moment, and it's heightened day by day. You've got that certain kind of something. There's a Puerto Rican priest babbling on I-10 East. All I heard were my feelings for you. A jackhammer on the street, sirens of police. But all I heard were my feelings for you. You've got that certain kind of something that someone can't explain. You've got me running round in circles with your image in my brain, and it worsens every moment, and it's heightened day by day. You've got that certain kind of something. You've got that certain kind of something. You've got that certain kind of something.
Nice. Will Sexton live in the studio.
Yeah.
Playing tonight with John Evans and Bill Kirchen at the Mucky Duck.
Yeah, it is.
Great time. I was asking you, let's take it back a few years. You were 10, 11, you're playing around the Austin music scene. You said that W.C. Clark kind of would let you step up and play with him on stage and, kind of, I guess, introduce you to the scene. Mm-hmm. Were there other players that we might know that kind of helped you out in the early years, you and your brother?
Well, I mean, they were all there. The thing that's really fascinating about the 70s in Austin was it was so small. Mm-hmm. I mean, what was it? Tops like 20,000 or something, it's like we're like in this million mecca, this giant cosmopolitan kind of swelling city that we're living in now. At that point, there wasn't very many people. There was UT, and then there was a bunch of San Francisco, hippies.
Playing music.
So the thing that was cool about Austin in that period was everybody were they were all friends. It's like in the whole Doug Somm, Sleep at the Wheel, all of that side of things, and then you have like all of Stevie and Jimmy Vaughn and Luann Barton, Omar, way back when Omar had his big band, and then you could have Rocky Erickson. It's like you had all of these different genres of music, but they were all friends because they belonged in this certain group of hippies. And I mean, a lot of the country guys weren't really hippies either, but they still, they were like-minded in their ways and traveling and expressing themselves. So, so at that point, we basically were part of the little sideshow of Austin, sure. Texas in the late 70s. My brother and I, as the two kids, the Sexton brothers that, played with everybody and did whatever, and
And then both of you guys got signed, but you were 16 when you got signed, and today if you hear of a 16-year-old male getting signed, you'd think of a record company kind of trying to shape him into a Justin Bieber type. Was there any of that going on when you got signed by a major label? Did they try to shape you a little bit, or they just said, "Hey, let's go make a great record"?
We were signed by the same person. My brother and I were signed by MCA. So the one thing that was interesting is we could be polar opposites. Mm-hmm. He was the polished pop guy, and I was supposed to be like the kind of like rock and roll dirt head kid, So it's like, they were basically going, wow, well, here's two similar kind of, let's just go with these two different approaches and let them do what they're doing, wanting to do. I know that they really wanted me to get a development deal, and it was like, they're like, which was smart. At the time, I could have used a lot of development and not developing, in public, which, I've always have in my life.
What 16-year-old doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. And but at that point, I was pretty bullish in my way. That was just like, look, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this record. If you don't let me do it, I'll do it somewhere else. So then they were like going, we would rather you hold off a while, but if you're going to go somewhere else, then we'll let you do it. So